Hey, Murray here. Getting a lot of questions about how to use the webhook to trigger events outside of Xperiencify. And I thought I would make a quick video to show you how to set that up in Zapier, because that's probably the easiest way to catch a webhook as it leaves Zapier. You can catch a webhook in any system that is listening on the internet for for internet pings. Zapier is going to be what I use in my demo here so that I can demo to you how to create the webhook in XP and how to catch it with another system and then do something with it. So hopefully this will be useful enough for you to make something cool happen with the platform. Okay, so we're going to start out with XP or on the XP side. So people are asking, let's say, how do I update this, system X or platform X when, Y event happens in Xperiencify? So let's take a look at exactly how you do that. All right, so I'm going to go to one of my test courses here. Let's just go to Photoshop Essentials. This is not a real course. Come down here to Secret Sauce and the Experience Engine. All right, so when user added to this course, let me just turn all these off right now. Okay, cool. Now I just turned all the events off inside that experience. What I'm going to do now is add a webhook. So before I can actually add the webhook, where is it? Webhook, there you go. So webhook is going to send information out to another platform as a kind of boom. This has just happened in XP. Here's some information about the student it happened to. Now you deal with it in the way that you've been programmed to deal with it, okay? So some people are asking, once the student earns 50 points, for example, how do I update ActiveCampaign so that I can move my student through my marketing funnel? Or once they finish this course, how do I update this platform so that I can update my student systems, update my CRM, stuff like that, okay? So let's go to Zapier. And what we're going to do is type in webhook. And it's Webhooks by Zapier, okay? And then on this side, so this is what Zapier is going to listen out for, which is a webhook to arrive from Xperiencify. And this is what it's going to do after it gets the information. So for example, let's just type in keep. We have the keep as our CRM in our other company. So I'm going to just leave that as keep. So we're going to catch a hook. And over here, I'm going to update contact. Let me just see here. Tag. I'm going to tag a contact. Okay. So this part is not really important. You can add in whatever platform you are wanting to work with on this side. Okay. So this is the action side. This is what happens after Zapier receives the webhook. Over here, this is how Zapier receives the webhook. Okay. So now let's try that. Okay. So, okay, step one, step two. This is step one is the webhook. So let's click on that. And then it's going to give me, if I go to the next step, let me see. Trigger. Starts this app. Continue. Yep. All right. So now Zapier gives me a URL like this. So if I copy that, I'm going to paste that into XP, webhook. And the first thing we ask for is the URL, which is the same as what Zapier just gave you. Okay, so paste that in and then post test. That's going to send some test information over to that URL at Zapier. So what you need to do now is click the test trigger, and that's going to reveal if any information was sent from XP. Okay, we found a request. And that has come from XP. So you can see that it's going to be coach email. That's going to be your administrator email address. So this is mine. And school is leave your message, which is all correct. And what we send in the webhook is basically the student email, student first name, student last name, student phone number, the course ID that we are in. Remember that we are in this course, Photoshop Essentials. So that has a course ID of this, sends the course title, and it can actually send any extra query strings. If you want to add any query strings on top of, let me get back down to this. Oops, no, wrong one. Call webhook. You can add extra query strings onto the end of that URL with a question mark and extra variables. I'm not going to go into that in this video. So you can see that the information has been received. You can see that the trigger is added to course. So this is the experience that we're working with, which is when user added to this course. So we're going to send that through as well. And let me see, anything else you need to be aware of? No, there's nothing else, a student ID, okay? So this is going to be a number which relates to the student ID that has joined the course. So whichever people are going through this experience, then it's going to send through that ID as well, okay? So if you're happy with that, click continue. And then over in the second step, which is what happens with the information, I'm not going to go too much into what to do here, but let me just show you very, very quickly what I would do if I was setting this up in my CRM, which is Keep. You can see here in this webhook that we're sending through, as I said, we're sending through these things like email, first name, last name. So if I continue over to Keep, it's asking me, all right, so what's the email address of this student? So you can click here and then you choose from all of the info that we sent over in the webhook. So coach email, cool. Tag name, so this is coming from a Keep. I want to add some tags. Boom, let's say I want to just add that tag to Keep. I want to tag that student in my CRM. So click continue once you're happy with the actions that you are taking once you receive the webhook. Okay, so click continue, and then you can test the action, and it's going to test the action with the test student that we've sent over, and it's going to try and add that tag. So whether or not that student exists in your CRM, in this example, I don't think it does, but if it does, then it's going to tag it. Okay, so I'm not going to talk any more about step 2, which is the step that you add once you want to send the information that we pass to you through Zapier somewhere else to another platform. Okay, so now as soon as depending on where you put this webhook in whatever experience. So for example, this experience is when user added to course. You'll have students calling that webhook once they get added to the course. If you wanted to add another experience. So for example, I duplicate that, and then I change how this starts and stops, and I choose earned points. So for example, 50 points. So this is how the experience starts. Starting trigger is earned 50 points. Update. Turn that on. Now, if the student earns 50 points, this webhook is going to be called. But you don't want to use the same webhook for all of your experiences, because you want to separate out the calls. So for example, this particular Zap I'm setting up is set up for this experience. It's set up for when students are added to the course. And it's going to call a webhook. It's going to call that particular webhook as students are added to that course. So if you wanted to set up a webhook for a different purpose, so for example, if user earned 50 points, then you would have to set up a new Zap with a new webhook that gives you a new URL that you can then use to update your other platform, your other database, whatever you want to do with that data. You would set up a new webhook to communicate that data. So it's going to be a second webhook that you update here that sends the information to a different place. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so it's pretty simple to set this up. As you can see, Zapier is the system that makes it the easiest for you to catch that webhook that we send and send that data to somewhere else. Okay, you can use other systems similar to Zapier, like make.com or pabbly.com. Or if you're a programmer or a coder, you can create your own scripts to catch the webhooks and send that data onward to whatever platform you want. Okay, so I hope this helps, makes sense, and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.